How have you been the last couple of weeks?
Warming up.
Yeah,
Well, it got cold and then it warmed back up.
yeah. I think that's generally what happens, right? You kind of get that, oh, you're going to get warm, and then all of a sudden the temperature drops, and
And then it's even more cold than it really is.
yeah, yeah, it just seems that much colder, really. It's
Just
and
like a
then
little
we just
minor.
get blessed with a couple nice days. Well, it's like even our last week because we have a long weekend this coming week, and where I am, like this past weekend was beautiful, sunny, but the long weekend is kind of not and colder again, right? So it's almost like 10 or more degrees colder this weekend than it was last weekend. So
Oh,
it's but it'll come,
downs.
and then everyone will be complaining it's so hot, and
I don't know. I actually asked my dad, he's like, it'll get hot. And I'm like, what, that one day in August?
yeah.
I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. It's not Alabama hot. It's not Georgia hot. Nope, nope. There's no way
No,
it can get that hot in Pennsylvania, but we'll see.
no. Does it get, is it humid, or is like the
Not
humidity
like it
level
does
there?
in the South. No. I mean,
No,
it
no.
does get humid, but nowhere
Yeah,
near. Yeah,
yeah.
nowhere near like South.
Yeah. Like, your hair is just pasted to your head.
No, well, no, it
Yeah.
just gets fuzzy.
Oh.
So my hair likes Arizona weather because it's very dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone's different, I guess. Some
Yeah.
people dry is makes
So
the
we have
face.
a few people on.
They do.
Where are y'all
Absolutely.
from? Pop in the chat. Let's see if you know where your chat is. Let's get some interaction happening. We don't have a guest. Who wants to be our guest? Who's going to be our volunteer guest? Milton,
Calgary.
Calgary. Okay, so next thing you put,
Mhm.
so I'm going to try to say Vanitha. Milton, what is your average price point in Milton? And Appy in Calgary, what is your average price point? And while you're thinking about your price point, 1.1 million, that's not too shabby. I would take that all day long. Vanitha, what is, and I hope I'm saying your
About
name right,
700.
700,000. That's a great one too. Okay. Biggest objection or your biggest struggle in your business right now? It doesn't have to be lead related. It can be anything related.
Mhm.
It can be you couldn't even get out of bed this morning. Whatever.
Yeah. Just don't want to do this anymore.
I quit. I hate real estate.
Oh.
It's the people. I did. I made a big joke one year while y'all are typing. I made a big joke one year. I'm like, I'm just going to start selling dog houses because I would rather work with dogs than people.
Yeah.
I did. I did a campaign on my website. We literally listed a dog house on our website, and I had all of the fun little, perks of drool proof windows and perfectly placed right beside a fire hydrant. Yeah, it was really cute.
Uh,
People loved it. Interest
let's
rates
see.
is your struggle. Okay, this is really good. So what is going on with your interest rates? And if you are able to join us, if you have your audio on and you're in a quiet place, we would love to have you on. If not, interest rates, what's going on? Are they not sure what's happening with the interest rates? Are they raising? What's happening? Because a lot of times just people just use it as an excuse because they don't know what else to say that they're not living
Mhm.
right now. And they're like, oh, the interest rates.
Yeah.
Um, because
Bank of
at the end of the
Canada
day,
hasn't changed its base point. I think it's up to 5 base points. I could be wrong. Someone correct me. So people keep anticipating every time there's an announcement. People are hoping and waiting for it to just drop a bit. Um, in some areas, the interest rate is not as having as big of an effect in certain areas, and then definitely other areas it is. Like I am currently in a buyer's market because there's listings that just aren't moving. They're going on the market and they're just kind of sitting. There's no rush, which and even when I talk to people here, realtors here, they're saying, yeah, it's like I'm getting listings. I'm just not getting the buyers to buy those listings. And a lot of it is the buying power, not just the interest rate, but because do you guys have stress tests?
No,
No,
that's
so
great.
we have stress tests where you've got to get approved at a higher interest rate. So their buying power is actually hindered and affected by that. So I think a lot of people are waiting. I think our next announcement is in June. And people are hoping that it drops. And that may help create a little bit of motivation for some individuals out there. But yeah, I think interest rates are a little bit different. They're kind of stuck for the
Yeah.
most part.
Well, and no matter what, at the end of the day, you have prices and you have interest rates. They're always going to be a hang up. There isn't a buyer that's ever going to go, this is the best market right now to buy a house. Like they're always going to have some type of problem, excuse, reason, whatever it may be, because that's just our human nature is to find fault, because nothing can be easy. That's just
No.
your brains work, right? So they're going to find fault in something. So where our talents need to really come into play is, how do we work with that? How do we have conversations around that to help them to see a bigger picture? Because at the end of the day, if they're always going to be complaining about either the interest rate or the price, you either have to move or you don't, right? So if you have to move, let's get past this scenario, because it all comes down to, if we ignore the interest rate, we ignore the prices, what can you afford a month? Period. End of day. Is there a home on the market that meets your expectations on what your affordability is per month? If there's not the time for you to move. And there's really no other way to put it, because that's the only thing that makes a sale in real estate is opportunity meets expectation, because every single lead in your dashboard has some kind of expectation. At the end of the day, they do. Everybody has an expectation. So all your job is to find the opportunity that's going to meet that expectation, and you got a deal. And that's why I always love the challenge of having conversations with my leads and didn't care if they were working with somebody else, because I always thought a little bit bigger than the average agent. Because the average agent's like, oh, you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a 1/4 acre with a 2-car garage, no basement. Oh, you want like a room above the garage. Okay, let me see what I can find. Well, if we dig a little bit deeper than what's actually on the market, every average agent's just looking at what's on the market. Well, look at what sold 5 years ago. Look at different scenarios and make the opportunity to fit their expectation.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make the deal. So yes, interest rates is let's just call it the underlying issue. I'm not going to call it an objection. I'm not going to call it an excuse. I'm not going to call it anything other than it's just their way that they know right now how to communicate, because that's the lingo everybody's using. If they weren't watching the news, if they weren't on Facebook, if they kept their nose down to the grind and just paid attention to what really mattered in their life, they wouldn't even know what's going on with interest rates, and they would just be about the monthly payment.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just reframing their brain.
Reframing. Yeah. It's and I think, well, there was I was talking to somebody about this, is they have like basically everyone in their dashboard is on, like, from years prior with the conversion, like they had a decent conversion with their leads, right? And they're finding, like, this time when we've changed nothing, haven't changed our scripts, haven't done anything, but no one's moving. Everyone's just sitting on the fence. And that was one of our topics of, discussion is talking about those interest rates. Okay, so what I suggest doing is kind of reframe how you're talking about that and focus on what they can afford on a monthly rate and what kind of buying price that looks like, right? And then kind of going from that kind of perspective and focus on the monthly. Because again, at the end of the day, I always refer to cars. When we go to buy a new car, we're not saying, oh, it's at a 3 whatever percent interest rate. We're saying, oh, how much can I afford each month? Right?
And that's exactly how the salesperson opens up dialogue, because they're going to make that payment work for you.
Yeah.
Because they want to make it. Yeah. And housing's, it's no different. I mean, honestly, there's either something out there that's going to meet their expectations with their affordability or there's not.
Hmm.
And that's where I really kind of love more of a challenging market because it allows me to shine above the average agent because the
Yeah.
average agent is going to agree, right? Oh yeah, interest rates are really bad. You probably should wait because they don't know how to overcome the truth in the moment. And I don't even want to say overcome an objection because I don't feel that that's truly a real objection.
Hmm.
It's just reality.
Yeah.
But they
Yep.
don't know how to unwind in their mind. And back when we had the big crash, it was interesting here in the States because everybody's like, I lost so much money. And I'm like, but did you really? It was only on paper. Like,
Yeah.
if the market never increased that much and the market is where it is, you didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
What you lost was on paper and you just didn't cash out at the right time.
Hmm.
You didn't lose, you just didn't gain,
Yeah.
right? You just didn't
Hmm.
make bank. Like, I mean, it's just like the stock market.
Hmm.
It's like, do you cash in and withdraw your stocks in the height of the market, or you just keep waiting and waiting for it to get higher? It's like it's always so comical to me how people like create their own like problem. Like, oh, I
Hmm.
lost so much money. Well, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you may have no, there was a couple people, don't get me wrong, there were people
Yeah.
that got caught. If you bought in that high market, yeah, you kind of got F, yeah, no doubt. But if you bought like I mean, we bought in 98 and sold in 2005, we had a crap ton of equity,
Hmm.
but we invested it into a home and bought in the high market.
Hmm.
So we lost all of that equity, but we really didn't lose it because we just traded one for the other.
Yeah.
And we were able to get out of that house that we bought in the high market without owing.
Yeah.
But your average clients are like, oh my gosh, we lost so much. I want to try to maintain, like, I have to get this much money for my sale or I'm not selling.
Hmm.
Well, our job is to get them to see the bigger picture of, okay, if the market would have been here then, if that then, if this now, can you see it a little bit differently now?
Hmm.
And it really is in a challenging market fun to be able to create different dialogue to help people see it from that helicopter view.
Yeah.
Because when you're in it, it is really hard to see it because you do feel it as a loss. Because in your mind, right, whenever you know you have all that equity, you mentally spend that money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may not cash out on it, but you're like, oh, if we had that money, we could go do this and we could go do that. And then when it's time to cash out and that money ain't there, you feel like you lost
Hmm.
because you didn't take it out and spend it on that. But aren't you glad you didn't?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it's always interesting and fun and challenging markets.
Yes.
So what market are you in, Crystal?
I'm in Kelowna, BC.
So listings, so your inventory is climbing.
The inventory is climbing. The sales are happening, obviously. They're just not happening as fast. And I find that
Now, when you say
where
as fast, is it
it's
as
not
fast as
moving.
what you want?
No, you're noticing
Fast
that house
as
there's the
previous?
reductions in prices and things like that, or they're sitting, longer than what people are used to. I find based on this is just based on me watching because I'm watching it all the time. What seems to be selling is not the entry level home. So kind of where I sit, so where you're going to have people that are buying into either their first time buyer or, moving from a condo to a town or a town to a detached home in that lower price point or that, more achievable price point where, the average person can actually afford. Those are the ones that are sitting the longest. The ones that appear to be like over $1 million on the higher price points, those are people that are doing kind of more lateral moves or moves up. They got a lot of equity. It's not really affecting those ones as much from what I can see. Like those ones seem to be the ones that are moving the most, really.
And I love this conversation is what I always encourage is you have to know your market and what's moving in your market. And when I would do my market reports, it was so vital for me to be able. Now, when you're in a higher price point market, and you got to understand, we were in like a $400,000 price point market.
Mm-hmm.
So I did my reports on $50,000 increments. But when I'm like really honing in to figure out what's happening with my market and where are the buyers, when you're looking at, now, if you're in the $1 million price range, I would certainly say, from like 700,000, do it in $100,000 increments. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you get up over 1 million, do it maybe in $200,000 increments. Just know what your buyers, when they get approved for a certain price point.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you are approved for $1.2 million in a purchase. Now, they're going to be looking over that price range and they're going to be looking under that price range. What is that gap like? So at 1.2 million, are they pushing the envelope to 1.3 and 1.1, or maybe even just rounding it at 1 million to 1,000,003? So what you want to look at in those increments is how many homes are on the market right now, because that tells you the competition that this one particular home that you may be listing, or that your buyer may be looking at, that shows you what the competition is. And I would do it within you do provinces there, right, Crystal?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I would do that as a province. And if the province is too big, narrow it down. Could you narrow it down into school districts?
You could. Wow. Yeah. Essentially, you could.
School districts, or even a map, right? Because now just think in the mind of a buyer. Most buyers, when they're looking in a geographical area for a reason. They
Mm-hmm.
want to be so close to shopping, hospital, schools, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
may be. So just map out your location and look at what is currently on the market right now in said price point.
Mm-hmm.
From Do it in your increments, 900,000 to 1 million, 1 million to 1.1 million. See what's active, see what is, now you can see what's under contract, correct? Like what's
Yeah.
pending.
The realtors can. The
Yes,
consumer can't. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then you can see what has sold in the last 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So when you're looking at these three dynamics, you're getting the past, present, future, right? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing what's on the market. How many days are the homes that are active on the market have been sitting average?
Mm-hmm.
Look at what's under contract. What are those average days on market? And then look at the sold.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing this because it does tell a story, right? Because what's sold is what happened over the last 90 days. What's under contract is what's happened in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
What's active is what hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at, were there price reductions in the solds? How much did the sellers pay in buyer concessions?
Mm-hmm.
Were there any concessions? Look at what's under contract and look at, has there been any price adjustments? And then look at what's active and see if there's any price adjustments. And when you start looking at this in $100,000 increments, just like you were talking about, Crystal,
Mm-hmm.
you can really get a feel of what's happening in your market and going, wow, like there's a lot of movement in the lateral moves.
Mm-hmm.
When you say, so I'm assuming when you say lateral, it's like that middle-aged family that is
Mm-hmm.
expanding and going bigger. Like
Yeah. They
they
have
have a
a good decent equity, right, to make it affordable to do that, right? So they could have purchased, prior to COVID, prices shot up here like insanely, like they did a lot of places, and they have just a lot of just growth equity in the value of the property, and so they're looking to kind of buy, or they can buy more because they have a larger down payment, or obviously not just those people. There's people that just had, they've owned their homes for years, and so they have that built up equity in there. It's the first time, or I guess the average, anything detached is hard to find under 7. I'm going to say there's some that are. I'm not going to say they're there, but you're not going to find anything definitely under 6 that is for like a family detached home. But even then, those ones, even if you're finding them and they have 3 or 4 bedrooms, like some of them, you're like, wow, why is that still available? Right? It's just the buyer that would be interested in that property isn't able to achieve it at this point.
So when you're looking at your market, knowing where the low hanging fruit is,
Mhm.
educating people, because if I'm going to be looking into, let's say, attacking a market, I would want to go back and find the people that have equity. How do you do that? Well, most sellers, buyers are on like a 7-year plan. So
Mhm.
if someone bought, what was your market? What was the lowest point of your market over the last 10 years? Go back to the listings that sold, cross reference the history. If they have not sold since that lowest point, they probably have some pretty nice equity.
Mhm.
And those would be my mailers. And I would
Mhm.
be very specific on who I'm mailing. And
Mhm.
I had a spreadsheet. Like I literally, because I don't spend money on any algorithms or any like I just do it myself.
Yeah.
So I would just copy and paste.
Mhm.
I would just copy and paste their name, their address, and I would just okay. Then I got so it might like I would have a day of research, plug
Yeah.
everything in, and then you can print out your mailing labels and send letters
Yep.
and start.
You can probably even do even that in that sense of kind of watching and looking at that information. I think in different boards, you should be able to view it on a map. I would imagine you could. So if you put in the dates, and then even target that for door knocking. Like, hey, this whole neighborhood seems to be a low turnover area. Most of them bought back in whatever. They're kind of sitting on their properties right now. Um, they all and a lot of them have a high equity, or you may have high turnover areas, which sometimes those ones are even good to go after because people are in and out. They're trying to move to the next level.
And so everybody that might not be listening, but they're listening right now, you want to listen right now. Because when Crystal says door knocking, it's like, I'm turning this off. I'm done. I don't want to go there. I don't want to door knock. So I'm going to
Yeah.
give you your script. Here is your script to go door knock. No excuses here. Look at it as you are going to be writing a book and you are questioning homeowners on how long they have been in their home and what their intentions were whenever they purchased, on how long they planned on staying there. Because everyone has a story. You're not selling anything. You want to go and introduce yourself, create a relationship, and just make small talk. Get to know them, get to know their story.
Mm-hmm.
So say, hey, I'm kind of doing a survey and I really wanted to write, and people love to help. Like, oh, I'm going to be part of a book, right? I really want to write a book for real estate agents on the thought process behind homeowners when they buy a home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the door and you're like, hey, Beverly Ruffner. Hey, I just have a couple questions to ask you. And I know I hate to knock on your door. I hate to bother you, but I wonder if you could help me out. I'm writing a book and I really need your help. How long ago did you buy your house? And they're gonna be like, why are you asking me this? Right. But it's
Yeah.
okay. Say, oh, just thank you, thank you, thank you. How long ago did you buy your house? And they'll be like, oh, 7 years ago. Well, when you bought 7 years ago, was this your forever home? Or, and I'll tell you the thing is, kind of map out your plan. Ask Chat GPT to give you 5 to 10 questions. Tell Chat GPT that you are writing a book on blah, 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 and that you want Chat GPT to give you 5 to 10 questions that would be great survey questions to be able to ask homeowners about da da.
Mm-hmm.
And let ChatGPT give you the questions and just tweak them to make them fit for you. So that way it really removes that salesy vacuum cleaner door knocker
Yeah.
from getting
And it's something you you're not trying to sell them or trying to get business from them. It's more of putting yourself in front of potential sellers and potential clients and having conversations with them.
And
Right?
it's powerful. Interviews are
Mhm,
so powerful because it really does give you insight. And what you're going to get is content
mhm,
to be able to educate on your social media,
mhm.
in your dashboard, sending out emails, creating email campaign based on your findings.
Yeah.
You don't have to write a book. How many authors are
Mm.
out there that say, I'm writing a book, and then they never publish it? Come on now. You
Mhm.
don't have to publish it. You can just say, I am writing a book, and you could be like writing a book for the rest of your life. You don't have to publish it. You didn't say, I'm publishing a book. You said, I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
Future
Yep.
truth.
Yeah.
There's so much power in interviews because you
Mhm,
really do build data and build just knowledge, and knowledge is,
mhm. Yeah.
so
Yep.
if you're thinking like, hey, I don't even know how to talk to my leads in my dashboard, this is it.
Mhm.
Learn your market. And like
Yeah.
Crystal said, man, hit those we all have those seasoned neighborhoods that nobody moves. But
Mhm.
I can promise you this. Every single neighborhood that has not had a sales sign in for a very long time, when that first one pops up, it's like it goes
Bing,
viral.
bing, 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 bing. Yeah, they
Yeah,
all get, look what
I want to
Harry's
be the
getting
first
for his
one.
house. We should move, right? So,
Don't know what it is, but every neighborhood does that.
yep. It's seems to be, yeah, it definitely that happens in my neighborhood too. So
Yeah,
it's like they're all looking for that first one to go up to see what their benchmark list price is.
yeah.
And then everyone kind of follows that. It could also be timing, but but I think a lot of us do steer to kind of see or get motivated without, anyone that's, I guess, not in the industry, gets motivated by when they see, oh, the neighbor's house just went up. How much are they asking for it? It's like, oh my gosh, because a lot of us, don't really think about moving or have no intention. So we're not watching those prices
Yeah.
until the near, you see a sign right across the road, and then it might encourage you to say, oh, I wonder, just so curious, I wonder what they're selling for.
Hmm. Yeah, there's so much you can learn from just raw data. It's just knowing what you're looking for and how to really pull that data to make it work for you and get
Mm-hmm.
creative with it. I'm just sitting here thinking like a big excuse I always hear is no one in my dashboard responds. Like I said, they're getting emails and I try calling and I'm texting and they're not responding back. That's okay because they're seeing you,
Mm-hmm.
they're hearing you, they're opening the emails. Now, we're not going to win everything. I mean, even the stats on, I mean, I've just been a geek about like reading stats on even social media. And it's now down. It used to be 10% of your audience saw your content. Now we're down to 6% of your
Mm-hmm.
audience content.
Yeah.
But when you go to post, you post something and you're like, "Oh, I can't post that again today because I just posted it yesterday. I
Yep.
can't post that today." Well, just tweak your little verbiage a little
Yeah.
bit, post it again, and just
Mm-hmm.
keep posting. And it's the same way with the email. It's you just never know. And I was talking to a big YouTuber yesterday, like YouTube award YouTuber,
Okay.
and she said 1 in 200 videos goes viral for her. That's a lot of freaking content.
Yeah.
1 in 200. I'm like, okay, all right. Wow, if you're already at that level
Yeah.
and it takes that much to get, I'm like, okay, wow, I'm really pushing the envelope here, right?
Yeah.
I put one out there and
You're
nobody's paying attention.
like, no one's
Oh,
watching my video.
nobody wants to see my, but nobody
Maybe,
wants my
sorry.
video.
It's very true though. And it's knowing your audience, of who you're targeting, like, especially on those YouTube things. Like, if you can create great kid content, my gosh, those kids
An
will watch
animal,
those videos.
an
Like,
animal.
it's like, yeah. So if you do fun things, but you can also relate, you do real estate if you wanted content and sense like that. But also find kind of like a little comedy in it sometimes, right? It doesn't have to be dry real estate stuff. It could be, you can have like a little twist to the content that makes it
Puppies,
funnier.
kittens, and babies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people just gravitate to. Puppies,
Yep.
kittens, and or a
Yep.
goat, the dwarf goats too. Those
Yeah,
are
those little go. No, the fluffy cows. Fluffy cows.
oh God, the fluffy miniature cows.
Can you imagine if you had a fluffy cow and you guys could like pretend, let's see if the fluffy cow fits in this house.
Yeah, or a little monkey. I was just watching a YouTube. Well, it was actually like I think it was a reels. It was a little monkey, like a pet monkey
Yeah.
that they were giving. The cans of whipped cream.
Yeah,
The,
yeah,
the
yeah,
whipped cream, and I'm like, how do I lose 2 minutes of my life watching it through?
yeah. Watch this silly
I'm,
thing.
I just did this, and I not only did it once, I did it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like to my son, and he's like, it didn't come through, so I sent it again, and I had to watch it again. I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real.
It's so
But
nice.
back to your emails. You know what? If people unsubscribe, and that is a misnomer that I've had to overcome because I'm like, oh my God, I just sent out 600 and I think it was like 689 emails I sent out to all my past clients, right?
Yeah.
And it was very low. It was like 18 people unsubscribed. And
Okay.
for a split second, you kind of take it personal,
Yep.
but do they really even know? Like, if they unsubscribe that fast, do they really even know what they unsubscribe from?
Yeah. Yep.
But
But
it's just not the right timing, and it's just not the right message. And it's just like, okay,
exactly.
see you later. It's been a couple years. All right, fine, move on. Just keep
Yeah.
sending. But I have gotten 3 people because I put in the email, hey, if you want a clarity call with me, click on this link and I'd be happy to jump on a call with you. I've had 3 people sign up for clarity calls. So you got to get creative here. Like with your emails that are going out, do you have Calendly? You have Calendly, don't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Create your Calendly link, do a 30-minute like discovery call, clarity call, whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it, like dream home call. I mean, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Tell me about your dream home. Um, you never know who's going to click on it and go, hey, I want to schedule a call with you.
Mhm.
And let them schedule it at your convenience or at their convenience
Mhm.
and just have fun with it
Yep.
because you never know who's waiting to hear from you.
Mhm.
If
Or
you're
you're stepping in at like timing is key sometimes, right? You just happen to be popping into their inbox or popping into their text just randomly out of the blue, and they just were starting to like, oh yeah, well we were actually thinking maybe sometime this fall, right? So.
and depending on your market and who you gravitate to as well,
Mhm.
um, I've learned that the PSs at the bottom of your email get the highest open rate. So anything that is uber important with any link, do a PS or a PSS, PS and a PSS at the bottom. So if
Mhm.
you want to send them to the best quality home search or the best homes on the market, click here. If you want to send them to, hey, follow me on Instagram to get the latest updates on what's happening with the market, and then I can follow
Mhm.
you. Because a lot of people are looking for their Instagrams to grow. So if they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, if I follow them, they'll follow me. Ooh, I'll grow, right?
Mhm.
Depending on who your audience is and who you're looking to attract and who you are attracting. But if you can get them to commit to see you in different places, then they're going to be able. I called my daughter the other day. I'm like, okay, honey, do you like voiceovers, video, or do you like straight up in your face videos? Like when you're scrolling,
Mhm.
you get attracted to people just talking straight up to you with their face, or do you like images or video images of voiceovers? And she's like, Mom, you're overthinking it. Do them both. Talk to your face and then do that same talk on a voiceover with I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant, right? You got 2 videos in one because people aren't seeing your stuff anyway. So you don't
Mhm.
have to create a ton of content. You just have to repurpose that content. And then you can take a 1 to 2 minute video and splice it up and do shorts. It's just a matter. I mean, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to
Yeah.
sit tell you it's not a lot of
It
work.
is
It's a lot
work.
of work.
It's work. But the
But if
more
you
you
want
do
people
it,
to see
the more you
you,
do it, the less work it kind of turns into because you get faster at it.
well, it's about, okay, I have my Canva that says, okay, TikTok size photos, Instagram
Okay.
Reels size photos, Instagram post photos, Instagram story photos, Facebook story photos, Facebook photos, Facebook video photos. Like you have to have
Yeah.
all these different, right? Especially if you want to do a sponsored ad, you have to have all those different sizes
Yeah.
able to integrate into each post.
Hmm.
If not, you take those all together, you put them all in one line, you got vertical, you got square, you got, oh my God, so I'm saying like don't
Yeah.
go on TikTok right now because it's like a mess. And I am like, thank God I don't have like thousands of followers right now because I'm just learning the way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is, it's fun, right? It's like if
Yeah.
you really enjoy your market and you really enjoy looking at homes and you really enjoy taking buyers through homes, or and if you're not busy, still go look at them anyway.
Yeah.
Take
Yep.
a couple videos and go, oh my God, look at this fireplace. Man, it is fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you picture your like
Yeah. Well, educating yourself of what's even on the market. So what's available, seeing it firsthand, not just knowing it's available.
preview
Hmm.
for
Well,
sure?
even like I had a friend, this weekend, she went on some showings for somebody with that is a friend that reached out to her. And she's frustrated because this person wants to go look at these properties that she's like, these aren't even what they're looking for. Like, based on what she told me, these are homes well under the price point of what they would actually be looking for. Don't even have the features that they said that they need. I said, well, just look at it as education. Let's look at it as you're just educating yourself on the market. You're getting to see these 3 properties. And now you know they exist. And then maybe you have a buyer that's interested in something like that. And now you can actually speak about them. So and at the same time, she was like, I'm doing it as well because I know I'm going to get the listing out of it. So it's, I'm going to accommodate what they're doing or what they're wanting to do so that I can, also get something out of it
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah. Well, and I did that, now that you were just talking about that, there were a lot of times I took my sellers to shop their price range
Hmm.
they were selling because I wanted them to firsthand see this is what's on the market, this is the competition.
Hmm.
So you list at this price, let's actually go physically see the homes and see what you're
Hmm.
up.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting perspective,
Hmm.
especially when homes have been on the market a long time. So when you're actually in a home that's been on the market a long time, you can really watch it. And as soon as that sucker expires, man, flies on poop.
Yeah.
Just get there, like, hey,
Hmm.
I saw your house. It didn't work for the client that I brought through, but man, I've really been marketing it.
Yeah.
And that's where you can utilize, right? It's like if you do take some pictures or take some video and you put on your social media, then you can back up that you've been marketing it.
Hmm.
Because when they list it with somebody else, I mean that buyer agent isn't or that listing agent isn't gonna be mad if you bring a buyer.
Yep.
They ain't gonna
Hmm.
be mad, I promise. So you
It,
can't just
oh,
make
for
fun of it. And like Crystal said, just take your little stuffed animal with you.
sure.
Remember, did you all ever do Flat Stanley?
I don't think
No,
so.
no, so we have my kids had I didn't went to school. My kids did. It's Flat
Okay.
Stanley. It's
Okay.
a little person that you color and
Yeah.
just outline. So it's just like on a piece of paper, but it's
Okay.
two-sided, front and back.
Yeah.
And then you do them on heavy construction paper and you glue them together on a popsicle, like on a tongue depressor stick.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so at the end of the year, Flat Stanley goes with you on all of your summer adventures.
Okay.
And when you go back to school in the fall, Flat Stanley has a story. And then
Okay.
that's the icebreaker that the kids use.
Okay.
Yeah, so Flat Stanley is
Interesting.
like a thing. So you're encouraged to take pictures of Flat Stanley wherever
In
you go.
different. Okay.
So Flat Stanley experienced this and Flat Stanley experienced that. I'm like, wow, that'd
Yeah.
been like, can you see how that would take off in today? Like, I don't even
Yeah.
know. Now I'm like
Flat
curious, like
Philly.
I gotta go like search Flat Stanley.
Yeah. We can do anything. You do it fun. You know, make it fun. You can do that even in your marketing, right? Your content. When you're going through like a Flat Stanley on this executive stove.
It is. It's
Uh,
having fun with it. And that's what makes your emails open, right? Because you
mhm.
never know
Mhm.
what's going to be coming. And people love to laugh. People like to have fun. And if it's always like dry and sales pitchy,
Yeah.
you're going to be remembered. Like you want to do something that's rememberable.
Mhm.
Is it
No, for sure.
memorable or rememberable?
Yeah.
Memorable? Remembered.
Memorable. Memorable. Memorable.
Yeah.
Memorable. So one of those where you keep saying it, it's gonna like not sound right.
So now that we always have something great to talk about. So
Yeah.
Crystal, over the last 2 weeks, your phone calls that you get being in the old customer service and the training and the your leads don't suck category.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's been the common theme the last 2 weeks? Is there anything different that stands out the last 2 weeks, or is it kind of the same old, same old?
It's typically the same for the most part. What I'm finding is I'm going through a lot of really just organizing of the databases, right? So people not having a full grasp on their tools, or just not using. They might know they exist, but they don't use them. But then they're also claiming like, I'm feeling defeated. I'm not getting anywhere with this. So, well, we're not tracking what we're doing. So, if we have a method to all this madness, it's going to seem less cumbersome, and you're actually going to see better results because no one's going to slip through the cracks. You already have things kind of predefined as to when you're going to do them. And you'll actually feel a little bit more relieved rather than opening up your dashboard and here is 1,500, 3,000 people that you're like, what am I doing with this? Right. So that's where I'm finding where most of the trains, because most of the trains I do are existing clients, where that's where what we're focusing on is getting through that organization, and that sort of thing is really kind of what we're the biggest thing.
And is it something that how are you finding that? Are they reaching out to you saying this just isn't working and then you get into their database with them?
Yeah, they usually reach out to support. Often
Okay.
enough, they'll reach out to our support team, like they need help, or they reach out to a rep here somewhere, come through support nonetheless. And then they arrange to send, we'll invite you to training, right? Or, some people just want to start learning more. So I find a lot more people are wanting to learn how to do newsletters or different features and functions of the system. So people are starting to become, not starting to, because there's always been them, but I'm finding a lot more people just lately looking to utilize different tools to connect with databases, whether they're online leads or existing databases that they've added to the system.
What is your favorite tool that AgentLocator offers?
There's a lot of them. I really enjoy the ability that we're able to stack filters and doing the mass text messages, especially when you're working in a large database where in some of that database could be dead database. Basically, they're stale, they're not doing anything. It's a great way to get people to respond to you quickly. And again, we can filter out using stack filters, when we last tried to, are these people that have never responded back to us, or we've never talked to them, right? So utilizing those mass features in that sense. Another great feature that we do have as well, which I don't think very many people utilize it because it's more for a team, but user accounts can actually use the main site and advertise it on their own with their unique ID to generate the leads that come from it. So, as part of us, on Teams or what have you, we don't necessarily have our own website. We have a team website, right? But it allows then individuals that may be part of a team or part of a brokerage to tack on something onto the URL and advertise it, whether they have a domain of their own that they're putting and door knocking with, or sharing it on social media. But anyone that goes to that site, then if they registered, the realtor then that's advertising is reaping the benefits for it.
Yeah, because that lead comes exclusively to them.
To them. Yeah. So it's not going into the pool of individuals, right? So
well, even on that note though, Crystal, how many single agents do you have marketing their own domain? Because to my knowledge, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I am quite certain that you can go in and set up individual searches and say, okay, homes in this price, these are the best homes on the market in this price range in this location. you can have multiple links driving people to certain places
Yep.
that you have now become the expert in.
Yep. Yep. So there's that generating. So the home locator app as well. That's a great one. And actually having your system actually has a unique app link that you can advertise. Again, you can have a URL that forwards right to that app link. You can do a traffic campaign on social media. But anyone that's not currently a lead will actually create a lead in the system. And then the benefit of the app, and one of the powerful, that's why I always encourage when you call your leads, mention the app, send them the app link. The first step is setting up their street match, which means you're getting their address. Right, so everyone that does download that, you're getting their address, and those potential sellers are now going to start to get nurtured through the listings in their neighborhood.
Yeah, so I love this because you can get really creative with video because people really need to see your face. They really need to know that you're a real person. You need to build that trust for them to give you the information. So if they're not talking to you, just gain some excitement about look at what keeps them awake at night, right? They probably don't have a problem, but everybody's curious. Everybody wants to know what their neighbor's house is worth, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you can have some fun with that, right? You want to know what your neighbor's house is worth? Hey, let's get you on Street Match, right? Spy on your
Yeah.
neighbors.
Yeah. And you can use the website links. Like, again, you have the page, you can, whether it's just a lead gen site you can add those landing pages to it. But again, you can get your own domain specific for that. So if you are doing print marketing, right, just get them right to that page.
Yeah. Well, in print marketing, QR code, right?
Yeah, or QR codes too. Yeah, absolutely. People are just like
right into it. Yeah. And here's the big major thing that you need to do. Do it more than once. Do it more than twice.
Yeah.
Do it more than 5 times.
You're doing it. Yeah.
Make it a habit and give it, because I promise you, over the last 4 years, me trying to release content, I give up way too soon. And we all fall into that. You make a post and then you check it 5 minutes later. You check it
How
30
come no
minutes.
one's done anything?
Yeah.
We're obsessed with it, right?
Yeah, and especially what's happened to me this morning, right? Like I'm on TikTok and then you have like all these people like, oh my God, they just released something new on TikTok. You can go in and see where the gaps are.
Yeah.
So if you see where the gaps are and where this is improved, like this many people are searching this keyword. If you put this keyword on your video and you say it in your video, it will go viral. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Play this sound.
It feels good. I get excited in the moment, then I make the post and wait for it. And then I think, okay, wait, 1 out of 2 on YouTube. I'm like, okay, Bev, get to reality here, right? I mean, it's just post and forget it. Just keep posting, keep posting, keep posting, keep posting. Because that's inevitably, you just got to be in people's face. And I mean, honestly, you want your market to go, oh my God, freaking Beverly's everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Oh,
how it is.
be like that if you're posting and using that content, and just really having fun with it. And like I said, just go out, utilize door knocking, utilize whatever it is to get your content. Just start having fun with it. I was coaching a lady yesterday, and she was talking about her YouTube channel, how she's had it for 7 years. She's at 25,000 followers, and she's like mad at herself. I'm like, oh my God, like 25, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And but the story, right? She's like, I was just posting stuff and I just had fun with it. And I wasn't even thinking about it. And then you learn that you should have a strategy. Then you learn that, oh, I should be posting this based on this keyword, and I should be using this hashtag to do this. And then it doesn't become fun anymore.
Yeah.
And then you lose your consistency.
Yeah.
Because you're trying too hard. So just find something that you enjoy creating and just have fun with it and put it out everywhere, including your email list. Because your email list That's where the gold is.
Yeah. Yep. If you guys are doing lead gen, or if you do, for any of you guys that do door knocking or just go and drop flyers, like however you do it, is tag marketing. Because if you're doing that and you've got the social aspect, maybe they have their stuff, QR codes to see different things on your little brochure that you give them or whatever it is that you hand out. They're tagged now. So not only are they might follow you on a social aspect, or you run a content or whatever you're doing to get the followers, they're now, anytime they go online searching somewhere else, they're going to see your face again. You're like, why are you there? Why are you on my Google now? Right. So
Yeah.
different, it's, yeah. And people have to see a brand like so many times. And I think there is like the visibility of the ad, the prominence. Someone had told me, like McDonald's, if there is one location where they raised the sign up just that much higher, and the amount of revenue that McDonald's sign brought back into that restaurant, because the sign was now more visible by everyone surrounding. People knew it existed, but because it's now even from far away, it's like, oh, there's McDonald's, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. So it's just,
it's a minimum of 8 touches. It's literally a minimum of, I think it's between 8 to 12 touches.
Yeah.
Is what that magic number is that they need to continue to see you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
One of my coaches told me whenever I wasn't listing heavy, I was so buyer heavy. And he's like, why don't you have more listings? And I'm like, I don't know. You tell me, you're my coach. And he said, well, it's your job to get people to know that you're available. They don't know you're there. And there was and it's been going around for a long time. Don't ask me who the violinist is. I have no idea. But he sold out a concert, very, very popular violinist. And just to prove a point, he took his very expensive violin, went into the subway, and was just playing like a panhandler. And he made in a few hours of time, he made like $100 in tips, couple $100 in tips.
No one realized who it was. Yeah.
Nobody knew it was. So if you're not within your audience, no one's going to see you.
Yeah.
So you've got to get out there and be seen. That's the only way they're going to know you.
Yep.
And getting creative with that is what's so vitally important. Because just sitting at home, like wondering where your next deal is going to come from. And man, I get it. Like, you're unemployed every day in real estate and you're always interviewing. And it can get daunting. It can get draining. But, when you step back and ask yourself, why did you get into real estate? I'm sure every single one of you have a story on what brought you to real estate. And the amount of agents that I have spoken to over a long, long time, usually they came from some type of problem or bad service or just lack of just being heard. So a lot of agents just got into the industry because they knew they could do better than the competition. And don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of why you started this business. Just because you have leads in your dashboard that you don't feel are responding the way that you want them to. It's not ready yet, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, look at how many starving artists, and that's why I always love going to Nashville, because it's so inspiring to me. How many starving artists are playing in every single bar in Nashville, just on one street? And these bars don't just have one stage. I mean, some of these bars have multiple stages, and they're playing from open to close. They are booked constantly.
Yeah.
And I'll go years without going there, and then you go back and the same person's still singing on the same stage.
Yeah.
They've never been found and went bigger, right? They're not on they're not in the Grand Ole Opry yet. But they're just living their dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what we're doing as real estate agents, it's no different than the starving artists that are out there just trying to get their voice to be heard and go big. That's their first record that's a gold.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only thing that holds us back is this stuff
Yeah.
right in.
Yep. Yep. And it's usually our own self that prevent us from doing anything. And I watched this little clip, and it was like some guy that has, he's successful, whatever. He's like a multiple entrepreneur or whatever, several. And he is like the biggest, you don't need any money to do anything. He's like, your biggest thing that's stopping and preventing anyone from being successful is their own self and the way that their mindset is and what their lack of ambition and motivation to actually do what it takes to get to where you want to be, that next level. Because we all have it. It's like, as long as it comes easy, sometimes we're more inclined to do it, right? And then all of a sudden it gets to be too much. I was like, oh my gosh, this was like, I'm not seeing the results right away, but it's powering through that to get to the other side. And a lot of us just, simply give up before that.
It's true. And that's where, my years of coaching, it's really brought me full circle, because like my next level coaching now is why I just released a book, The 5 Truths of Why We Feel Stuck, the secret that those coaches don't want you to know.
Yeah.
And, in reality, all these years I've been coaching the tools, right? I've been coaching here's your filters. Here's how you work your filters. Here's what you say when you pick up the phone. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to say. Here's what you need to ask. But in reality, we have everything right at our fingertips. We know exactly what to do. It's the why aren't we doing exactly what we need to do?
Yeah.
So it's that layer underneath. You have everything right at your fingertips, but why isn't it working for you?
Yeah.
Where is that block? And yeah, I've loved how this journey has brought me into like really realizing we all have that within us, because it's stories that we have created because, oh, we went and we tried to sell something and we got shot down and it didn't feel good. So we don't want to keep doing it anymore. Like, oh, I want that to happen if I go talk to the next person. Or you went and knocked on somebody's door and they were mean to you and you're like, oh no, I'm not going to go knock on doors anymore. Like that, I bother people.
Yep. It's being in that, the same individual wrote something because he's like, do you sell or you buy? And he's like, I sell. He said, those who sold the shovels during the gold mining days made more money selling shovels than those who panning for the gold.
That's a great story.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's actually probably true for a lot of those people that spend hours out there panning and not getting anything, but the guy selling the shovels is the one that made the most money.
I love that story. Well, it's being innovative, right? He solved a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I always say, right? If you can be the umbrella on a rainy day,
yeah,
you win. Because no matter how many umbrellas somebody has, they're buying another one if they're stuck in the rain.
Yep. Yeah. That's why when you're walking down Vancouver on a rainy day, or even New York, I'm not sure if Toronto I've ever seen it, but New York, there's stands specifically for you to buy umbrellas on like almost like every corner. Someone's selling umbrellas, right? Because you get stuck in the rain, you're gonna want an umbrella.
And you don't know what store you're going to be in front of, so they all gotta have them. Capitalize on those umbrellas. And then that's the beauty of, when you really dig into your market and learn your market, man.
Yeah. Yeah. What are people going to be wanting? Yeah, absolutely.
What's your shovel? So now I got a new story. What's your shovel?
Yeah. What's your shovel? Okay. What's the shovel here?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So anybody's left on here, oh my gosh, if you want your leads called, if you want interaction in your dashboard, if you want some organization happening in your dashboard, sign up for I can't even believe I'm going to say the 1st of June, like for the first Wednesday in June.
Yeah.
And we will jump into your dashboard and we will stir some things up.
Yes. Awesome. And we're still trying to, just so you do know, we're still trying to get James Hughes back. He's just been really busy and then out of town and things, like, so he has full intentions. But yeah, you guys want to jump in. I'm going to post it in the chat right now. And hopefully it's correct, because sometimes I make a mess of it, but it's the Calendly link. Again, you guys, there is only ever 2 times a month that we do this, right? So it's first come, first serve. She will jump into your assistant. She will potentially make calls, and you'll be on here. So just know that you have to be okay with that. But yeah, there's only 2.
We do blur, so nobody's gonna steal your stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity. We've converted a lot.
But I actually made a call yesterday by accident and had potentially got a CMA lined up for somebody. I was testing out his Twilio. It's like, and I was just like so much on my brain. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to call and make sure it works, thinking it was a test lead, but it wasn't. And someone answered. And I was like, oh my God. On a quick thinking on my toes, looking at their account, like, oh my gosh, what is this? And I was
That's awesome.
like,
That would be, you need to pull that and use it for training, because
yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's like, you don't have to be prepared.
I know. I was like, I don't, well, that was an accident, but good news is you're going to call him and try to line that for an in-house TMA later today. So
I love it. That's awesome.
Awesome. But well, thanks everyone. Thank you, Beverly, as always.
Yes. I love being here. Thank you all for taking your time. And I will
Yeah.
see you in a few weeks.
Sounds great. Bye, guys.
Bye.